The shocking truth about ancient Egypt's gross junk food that keeps you up at night. In the heart of Cairo, shadows flicker like secrets long buried. Egyptian vendors call out, their voices a seduction of exotic spices and sweet treats. But what lies beneath the colorful exterior? Imagine this, a pyramid looming in the background, its stones sunburnt yet resilient. Shimmering heat waves distort the air, summoning mystical whispers from a past entwined with our present. As you step closer, the smell hits you like a wave, a mix of honey, fried dough, and something darker lurking in the corners of your mind. What if I told you that ancient Egyptians had a peculiar penchant for consuming not-so-innocent delights? Picture it. Rodent delicacies seasoned with a sprinkle of herbs, considered a delicacy by some. Yes, I said rodents. The rich, greasy texture of these bizarre bites tasted like nostalgia and danger all at once. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, folks. What about the infamous, mummified cakes? Baked with such fervor, they were thought to offer a taste of eternity but instead decayed faster than you can say what's that smell. Now, the air grows thick, the atmosphere shifts. Suddenly, a chill licks up your spine as legends unfold in hushed tones. Rumor has it that some of these so-called snacks weren't just designed to satisfy hunger but to lure unsuspecting souls into a trap one bite could have you racing towards a curse from beyond the grave. Can you hear the whispers? Don't eat them. They seem to echo like a warning bell in the silence of the crowded market. Tension grips the air, threading through curious onlookers whispering and pointing, eyes wide with a mix of shock and intrigue. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Back in the narrow alleys of Egypt, as dusk falls, a shadowy figure lurks, one of the street vendors seemingly unaffected by the wild tales of cursed cuisine. With jittery hands and a twinkle in their eye, they beckon you closer. Want to try a sample? They tease, holding out a box with treats gleaming ominously in the fading light. Your heart races. Can you resist the pull of ancient flavors, or will you uncover the dark truth lurking beneath the surface? The answer is just one taste away. The vendor's smile stretches, revealing teeth that glint under the pale light, a crooked grin that sends shivers down your back. Your heart pounds like a drum, echoing the unease swirling in the air around you. The box trembles in their grasp, the promise of hidden delights wrapped snugly within. What are those treats really made of? Daring curiosity pulls at you, like an invisible thread. Come on, it's just a taste, they insist, leaning closer, a hint of mischief sparking in their eyes. The crowd behind you murmurs, anticipation pregnant in the air. You can feel their gazes burning into your back, scrutiny wrapped in fascination. All of them are waiting to see if you'll go through with this foolish act. The truth is, you're not merely sampling a snack, you're about to bite into something far more sinister. With trembling fingers, you reach for the box. As you lift the lid, the scent wafts upward, a heady mix of spices, fried goodness, and an unmistakable tang that grips your stomach. Your senses dance between disgust and intrigue. What if you uncover something ancient, something forgotten? Maybe you'll become a part of the legend, a thread in this vast tapestry woven by time. Suddenly, the laughter of a nearby group jolts you from your thoughts. They're making jokes, but their intent feels layered with something darker. Did you hear about the last guy who tried the cakes? One of them whispers, glancing your way with an elbow jab that speaks volumes. He went missing just like that. The words linger, a chilling reminder of the dangers lingering in the shadows. You steal a glance back at the vendor, who's now watching you with an intensity that feels all too familiar. It's as if they know your thoughts, your fears. Are you tempted by the thrill, or is it truly the macabre allure drawing you in? A bead of sweat trickles down your spine as you tuck strands of hair behind your ear, uncertainty creeping in alongside the rapid beating of your heart. With each passing moment, the suspense in the air deepens, time stretches into infinity. You glance at the treats one more time. They shimmer in a way that's almost enchanting, like treasures glistening from a long-lost era. But are they treasures or traps? Just one bite, the vendor urges again, their voice lower now, almost conspiratorial, like tempting fate. The weight of your choice hangs heavily, like stones tethered to your feet. You hesitate, frozen between two worlds, the tantalizing flavor of history calling to you like an ancient siren, and the darkness that looms over every sweet scent. You wonder if you'll regret your decision forever. Taking a breath, you dig your fingers in, the very act like stepping off a cliff into the unknown. Suddenly, you hear a gasp from the crowd. You turn to see their faces pale, eyes wide, as if witnessing the unveiling of a grave truth. What are they seeing that you don't? Just then, the ground quakes beneath you. A vibration echoes through the market, a tremor that's almost alive. And then the vendor lurches forward, a frantic movement, eyes wild with something primal. "Don't eat it!" they scream. "You don't know what you're unleashing!" Your stomach drops, and the weight of their words crashes into you like a tidal wave. The box slips from your hands, crashing to the ground, the treats spilling out, and with them comes an awakening of something long buried. As the crowd gasps, your heart twists. What have you done? The ground sighs beneath your feet as shadows shift, drawing closer. What ancient curse will now awaken? The chaos erupts like a storm. Gasps mingle with shrieks as the treats hit the ground, scattering like marbles escaped from a child's grasp. The crowd lunges back, faces contorted in disbelief and horror. You stand there, rooted, heart pounding as dread washes over you. The treats, once enticing, now seem to writhe on the ground. They pulse with an inner light, a sickly glow that flickers like dying embers. You feel the air grow thick, saturated with something ancient and forbidding, as if time itself is recoiling from the awakening of long-buried horrors. The vendor's eyes widen, glistening like knives in the soft glow. "No! Seal it! We need to seal it!" They cry out, the urgency in their voice piercing through the panic. Their shaking hands reach for a nearby cloth, scrambling to cover the exposed food with frantic movements. You want to scream, to ask what you've just unleashed, but words fail you. Instead, you take a stumbling step back, heart racing, eyes glued to the motion below. One treat, a strange, twisted pastry with dark, glistening layers, rises slowly, as though taking shape from the residue of fear in the air. Its very presence feels wrong, out of place, yet gravitating, drawing your gaze into its shimmering depths. Chants, that's what they are. The whispers of the crowd morph into rhythmic chants, thrumming through the cobblestone. No more, return to the shadows. A wave of fear spreads through you as you begin to see the model of something almost humanoid rising alongside the sinister delight. "Please!" you finally shout, voice trembling but rising over the chants. "What is happening? What did I just do?" The crowd beyond you shifts and murmurs, giving voice to an unspoken terror. The vendor stops, suddenly still. You open the door, they stammer, eyes flickering between you and the burgeoning shape. They were sealed by those who understood. Now it seeks a host. A chill runs down your spine. Host? The awakening shape seems to grow bolder as the shadows dance, stretching into grotesque forms, now swirling around the vendor. The crowd pulls back further, forming a barrier against whatever darkness looms ahead, but it doesn't stop you from feeling the suffocating grip of dread wrap around your chest. "Get away from it!" someone screams, voice crackling with panic. It echoes through the thrumming chaos, igniting a wildfire of movement. People push past one another, scrambling to get away. Amid the tide of retreating bodies, you take a deep breath, resolve hardening. You can't abandon this. Not now. Your fate is intertwined with the calamitous choices you've made. Eyes scanning the ground, you spot something shimmering amidst the chaos. A small, ancient-looking amulet, its surface smooth and cold, glinting as if it holds secrets that could turn the tide. "I need that!" you shout, reaching forward, your body on autopilot, drawn like a magnet. No one else seems to notice its significance, eyes wide and lost in the turmoil. Risking everything, you lunge for it, heart hammering, feeling time stretch in those few frantic seconds. As fingers brush against the cool metal, the ground trembles once more. The laughter turns to wails as the grotesque figure expands, writhing, reaching towards you like a dark promise. Will the amulet be enough to stop it? Or have you just signed your fate, sealing away what was never meant to tread this world again? With the shadows closing in, you clutch the amulet, a single question echoing in your head: what lies ahead, and will it be enough to stave off the darkness? You seize the amulet, its chilling metal biting into your palm. Time snaps back into focus. The ground shakes again, and the figure pulsates, grotesquely beautiful, as it stretches upward, grasping for anything, anyone, while shadows ripple across the crowd. Get back! The vendor cries, voice rising above the growing chaos. You can feel the terror in their shout. The lights flicker, and the air thickens, drenched in something palpable and ancient, as if the very essence of fear has taken shape. You glance at the crowd. Eyes wide with terror, they seem paralyzed, many behind their hands, perhaps shielding themselves from a horror too great to behold. What do I do? You whisper, unsure if you're even asking anyone, or if the question is just for yourself. You're edging back, instincts pulling you away from the chaos, but your fingers grip the amulet fiercely, as if it's the only thing grounding you. The vendor's gaze snaps to yours, desperate. You have to confront it. It won't stop until it feeds. What? Feed? You fight the urge to turn and flee. Instead, you stand your ground, heart racing, as the monstrosity before you shifts again. It seems to warp and shift, refracting the dim light, growing more pronounced, more alive. The murmurs of the crowd reach a fever pitch with every undulating move. The chants swell, the rhythm pulsing through the cobblestones. No more, no more, they become a plea, a desperate prayer. Your throat tightens, and you search your mind, wishing for answers that feel just out of reach. Can the amulet stop it? You ask aloud, though you don't expect an answer. But the moment the question leaves your lips, something within you stirs. A calling from the depths of history, stories blending into your consciousness. This amulet, was it crafted to protect against monsters like this? Dread surges as you witness bursts of shadow, twisting whimsically around the figure. You must know its name. The vendor shouts, unyielding. They cannot take what is named, only what is nameless. Speak it. Your heart pounds like a war drum as you try to form the name in your mind's eye. It's there, just on the edge of your understanding. Your breath quickens. What was it? The stories were threadbare memories from old lore whispered in dark corners, shrouded in myths. The figure inches closer, its form now half solid, draped in swirling darkness. Don't move! A voice pierces through the din. It's a newcomer, a figure rising above the rest, a fierce-looking woman, eyes sharp like daggers. We need to contain it, or we will all be lost. You smell smoke now, an acrid tang that stings your nostrils. The crowd scatters even more, jostling, as the shadowy entity lunges towards you, ethereal tendrils reaching out like fingers. You're frozen, the amulet's power trembling at the heart of this darkness. Focus! You think, pressing the amulet tighter against your chest. You must remember the ancient name, and then it hits you. The name bursts forth like brilliant sunlight through a storm. Azarath. You shout it, a primal roar against the crumbling world around you. The effect is instantaneous. The creature jerks, halting mid-swish, shrouded in confusion. Silence blankets the tumult, echoes of your voice thudding against the cobblestones, thick with anticipation. But your victory could be fleeting. As its form quivers, all eyes remain glued to you, the last flicker of hope amidst rising shadows. Did you name it? Did you stop it? Or have you awakened something far more sinister? The air crackles with unseen energy. Just as sudden, the shadows compress, merging and expanding with vigor, and another form begins to rise behind the first. A chilling thought strikes you, chilling your blood. What if that was not the only one? What lies ahead? What other nightmares have you just released into the world? The air vibrates with a tension thicker than fog, surrounding you as the new form solidifies from swirling shadows. You don't dare breathe as the dim shape stretches, contorting into a monstrous twin of Azarath. Its eyes burn like coals, bathing you in an utterly chilling light. More! The crowd shrieks, a collective gasp echoing through the streets. Panic ripples like a wave, and suddenly the scurrying townfolk become a mass of blurred bodies, each seeking refuge as chaos explodes around you. But you can't move. The pull of fear roots you in place, amplified by the vendor's wild gaze. Remember, it feeds on fear. The vendor's voice cuts through the turmoil, urgent and fierce. You have to fight against it. The words ignite a flicker of resolve deep within you. But how? You open your mouth, forcing out fragments of a thought. What do you mean? What can I do? Spluttering questions drowned in a tempest of terror show your vulnerability. Channel the amulet's power. Ground yourself. The vendor raises a trembling hand, gesturing towards the creatures now fully formed before you. Their hungry eyes gaze into your soul, and you can feel a wave of despair pulse from the crowd, fear and desperation ringing through the air. The first Azarath lunges, tendrils of shadow curling toward you, its figure a dreadful echo with ravenous intent. Time stutters and bends. You hop backward, nearly tripping over your own feet as those disdainful fingers wrap around a nearby lamppost, stealing the feeble glow. Trapped between the estimated safety of the vendor's plea and the push of the encroaching entity, your heart races until your head spins. Focus! A voice shoots past you, a bark from the fierce woman who had appeared earlier. The amulet! Use the memories of your past. Her words pierce through your haze and strike a chord. Moments sweep through your mind like a rushing tide. You see your grandmother's face, the desperate stories she wove about spirits. The lessons learned in childhood whispers rise courage to face the unknown. With desperation fueling you, you clasp the amulet tightly. Channeling every ounce of strength, you think of ancient echoes. What was it that could bind a beast? Azarath! You shout again, and feel the amulet hum, a resonance flowing from it into your palms, setting a vibration against your bones. The chaos shifts. The creatures halt again, bewilderment flashing across their features. For a heartbeat, you glimpse fear reflected in their coal-like eyes. But it vanishes, replaced with an insatiable thirst. Good, but it's not enough. The vendor's voice shakes, frantic. You must anchor its name. Repeat it and mean it. Bind it with your belief. Cackling laughter permeates the space as Azarath shivers, responding to your fervor with an unsettling excitement. The shadows tremble, and you realize you are bolstered not only by courage but by a collective hope from the crowd. They're looking to you for salvation. You lift your chin, rallying your voice like a battle cry. Azarath is bound by fear. You have no hold on me. But just then, behind you, a sinister rumble breaks the stillness, guttural and demonic. The air cracks with the promise of chaos and destruction. As you wrestle with naming the darkness, breaths hitch. The night sky above ripples as a third shadowy shape begins to rise, ominous and colossal. White-hot dread rushes through your veins. What if this creature is the true source of the others? The whispers grow so deafening you can scarcely hold on to your resolve. Get ready! The fierce woman shouts, pinpointing your focus, but doubt surges within you. Can you withstand the tide of darkness aligning against you? Something deeper churns inside. Each beat of your heart blurs between courage and despair. As the third figure stirs, you realize something crucial: your fate has just ignited a far greater battle than you ever anticipated. The ground trembles anew with the growing weight of shadows, and dread washes over you. Was this truly the beginning? Are you prepared for the depths yet to be uncovered? A gut-wrenching crack shatters the air, snapping you back to the irrefutable reality around you. The towering figure emerges fully from the void, casting a sinister, sprawling shadow. Its mouth stretches impossibly wide, revealing rows of jagged teeth, sharp and glistening like obsidian. The ground shakes beneath you. Screams rip through the crowd, frantic and raw. Those desperate to escape tumble over each other, a river of panic surging back into the alleyways. You glance at the vendor, his face pallid, eyes wide with urgency. You have to hold it. Don't let it in. Your grip tightens around the amulet. As the third creature advances, a colossal force threatening to engulf everything, you feel the weight of the crowd's gaze. They are echoing your fear. They need you to fight. Shouts blend with the rhythm of your panic, sending your pulse racing. What power do you have against such darkness? Azarath! You roar, desperation spilling from your lips like a torrent. The shadows momentarily recoil, their form flickering with uncertainty. The moment stretches, and for a heartbeat, you feel a flicker of triumph. But the victory is short-lived. The beast snarls, eyes smoldering with malice. Foolish child! It growls, its voice a deep rumble, sending quivers down your spine. What power do you possess? You are but a whisper against the storm of fear. The shadows swirl in a frenzy. Azarath lunges, an infinite darkness racing toward you. Now! The fierce woman shouts again, urgency crackling through her voice. Channel everything. You have your grandmother's stories. Focus on love and family and oh. You cut her off, the air feeling electric as realization floods your senses. Every story was filled with hope and bravery. Not just fear. You echo. You're fed by what we give. You thrive on fear, but I have power too. The crowd's murmurs grow quieter, their attention shifting. Holding the amulet tight against your chest, pooling every ounce of light and love that you've ever known, visions of your grandmother's laughter flash before you. Azarath is bound by hope. You declare, voice rising to a shake. Your darkness cannot exist without my fear. The amulet vibrates sharply, a burst of heat surging through you as a brilliant light erupts from it. The shadows falter, writhing in pain, set ablaze by scraps of radiant energy sparked from the depths of your spirit. The darker entity rears back as if stung, snarling in frustration. But the larger form only seems to grow angrier, pushing forward, howling in twisted exultation. You think your prattle can banish darkness? Look around. You counter quickly. Feel what we're building together. We're not alone. And as your voice crescendos, the crowd begins to unify, echoing the harmony of bravery and light. Embracing the warmth of shared defiance, you witness fear flickering like a candle being snuffed out. But the third beast shudders dangerously, gathering power as a thick veil of shadows billows outward, aiming to envelop everything in a darkness thicker than night. What is it doing? You gasp, eyes widening. Dread claws at your chest. The shadow figure's form shifts. The teeth glint wickedly, a growl reverberating through the ground. It's gathering its strength, preparing to unleash something terrible. With every fiber of your being, you know you must forge ahead. We will not bow to fear. You shout to the crowd. Stand with me. But suddenly you feel a sharp slice of cold isolation lancing through your heart, a singular sensation that terrifies you. It whispers promises of despair. Was there a hidden power buried in the darkness? A low rumble erupts as the third shadow shifts dramatically, growing in size, an entity that dwarfs the past two. Can you pierce through the depths of darkness, or is there a hidden secret yet to be uncovered? The air thickens, pulling you closer to the precipice of a dread-laden choice. What happens when fear transforms into something much deeper? A tremor surges through you as the shadows swirl like a cyclone, a dark tempest that feels alive. Your heart races, thundering against your ribcage, screaming for you to run. But the urgency in the woman's eyes anchors you. Fear is slipping through your fingers, and it makes your skin crawl. You can't let it take over. Trust in the light, she urges, her voice a beacon cutting through the chaos. Feed it strength. The crowd's collective spirit electrifies the air. Hands shoot up, shouting words like hope and unity. Their fervor ignites something inside you, sparking a fire that pushes against the icy grip of despair. The monstrous being looms larger, the darkness around it thickening. You can't shake the feeling that it's trying to draw the light away, snuff it out, and fuel itself with rising fear. Panic stirs in your throat, a bitter taste. But there's something else lurking at the edges of your mind, an ancient whisper from your grandmother's tales. Remember! You shout, your voice breaking through the din. Remember our stories of unity. Remember the power we hold together. The crowd hears you, their shouts morphing into a unified roar, a battle cry that rises into the air. It clashes against the oppressive darkness, causing the creature to shudder, its insatiable hunger faltering. But the moment is fleeting. The creature unleashes a bone-chilling howl, a dreadful sound that claws at your very sanity. The air thickens, becoming nearly suffocating as darkness curls like smoke, wrapping around everyone. You can feel the rise of despair like a wave threatening to pull you under. Was there any hope at all? The chaos inside you simmers as shadows stretch towards you, hunger filling the black void where its eyes should have been. At that moment you remember something else. Your grandmother taught you a lesson about overcoming fear. No! You shout, grasping the amulet tighter. You're no stronger than our hope. We choose to stand. In an instant, brilliant light surges from your heart through the amulet, exploding outward in a radiant pulse. Shadows shrink back, howling in agony as warmth floods the icy tendrils of darkness. A sweet relief washes over you, a momentary escape from the suffocating despair. Yet, a laughter dark, cruel, and echoing resonates through the air. You dare challenge me with mere hope? The larger entity's voice is a snarl, dripping with venom and mockery. You do not understand the depth of my power. A cold chill sweeps through you, drawing out all the light and hope you had summoned. What if the darkness was indeed more powerful? The crowd's resolve wavered, flickering in the face of such overwhelming evil. You watch individuals falter, their eyes glazing over with despair, as fear takes hold. Stay focused. The fierce woman yells, eyes fixed on the monster. Remember your strength. Remember each other. With that command, something ignites within the crowd again. One voice turns into many, and slowly, a wave of warmth begins to build. You stand firm, feeding off their collective strength, channeling the light that pushes against the darkness. But the shadows swirl with renewed fury, and the larger beast arches back, preparing to unleash another assault. Its rage spills into the air, sending a tremor through the ground beneath your feet. Now's the time. You shout, voice trembling yet resolute. What will you choose? Fear or hope? The crowd hesitates, crunching on the cusp of despair, and for a moment, it feels like everything is about to break apart again under the weight of the darkness. Then, from somewhere at the back, a child's voice rings out, pure and innocent. Hope! The shout travels like a lit fuse through the masses, igniting something hidden in the depths of the crowd's heart. They rally, their voices rising higher and stronger, fighting back together. But can mere words be enough against the intense, swirling shadows that loom larger than ever? As darkness snakes through your heart, you realize you might have to dig deeper than hope. Something primal stirs within, begging to be unleashed. What could you unleash to confront a darkness this profound? The answer eludes you for a heartbeat. But you know, deep down in the marrow of your bones, that the moment has arrived. The shadows roared, their cacophonous voices merging into a single, ungodly chorus of despair. Your heart pounded, each beat like a thunderclap as the air thickened around you. You clenched the amulet harder, feeling its warmth seep into your fingers, empowering you. But the electric charge from the crowd was fading. A dark mist wove through the throngs, and cries began to falter. What are we waiting for? You shouted, desperate to penetrate the heavy veil of dread. We have the light. We have each other. Don't let fear steal your voice. But one by one, faces turned hollow. Eyes flickered in and out, like dying candles. They were succumbing, every ounce of resolve draining away beneath the weight of the encroaching darkness. You could hear the rustle of clothing as people shuffled back, anxiety taking root where determination once thrived. A voice broke through the fog, sharp like glass. It was the fierce woman, her face illuminated momentarily by a desperate flash of courage. Stand with me. We cannot falter. Not now. Her hands reached up, and the crowd hesitated, rallying around her once more. The flicker of hope rekindled, not in a soft glow, but in a bright blaze. Together. You heard a soldier yell, his voice booming against the shadows. We fight for what we believe in. His boldness kicked something loose inside you, igniting a flame. Yes. You screamed, intoxicated by the spirit surrounding you. Together. We overcome darkness today. Light erupted once more from your heart, and you released it through the amulet. This dazzling surge enveloped the immediate area, blinding the shadows, forcing them back. The creature screamed, a shrill, anguished wail echoing through the air, shaking the ground beneath you. The darkness recoiled, as though it bore the brunt of an unbearable weight. But the laughter resumed, slicing through the fragile threads of unity. Fools! It resonated like a thunderstorm. Your power is weak and your faith shallow. You think you can extinguish me? The shadows twisted and contorted, slipping through cracks in reality, swirling around you. The unease gnawed at your core, slipping inside, piercing through the hope you fought hard to cultivate. The fear was insidious, seeping into every corner of your mind, sowing seeds of doubt. Remember the stories, you thought, but they felt far away, vague echoes of comfort in a world where fear gnawed mercilessly. You glimpsed around at the crowd's faces, all those who were aware of their power, yet felt so small now. What if it isn't enough? The doubts whispered. What if we fall? Stand! You shouted, trying to silence those voices. But the certainty was wavering. Shadows began slipping around your legs, wrapping you in cold, clammy fingers as if to pull you into the abyss. There, behind the monster's distorted form, stood a figure cloaked in the remaining light. It was the child, eyes wide, unbroken by the uncertainty that gripped adults. I believe in us, she cried, her voice ringing pure and strong. It spread like wildfire, igniting the flickering spirits of those around you. Believe! You seconded, your voice taking flight, soaring above despair. If she can stand, so can we. The crowd hummed in response, gathering strength as the air pulsed around you, squeezing the darkness tighter with glimpses of light breaking through. But the entity laughed again, and this time it felt like claws raking across your very soul. You think your hope can outlast my hunger? It taunted. With every breath, it clawed more frantically, searching for cracks in your defenses. Your heart raced, pounding like a drum calling warriors to battle. It might not be enough, but together, we will discover something more. And suddenly the air trembled. An energy surged, something ancient itching at your bones, stirring yet again from the depths. What secrets were buried within you? What power had history etched into your very being? But the shadows were closing in, faster, stronger, their shadows flickering like a hungry beast. Each second felt as if time was bending, pressing upon you like a rapidly closing fist. The light began to flicker. Would it be the light or the darkness that would reign in this battle? Your pulse quickened. You looked into the monstrous eyes of darkness, ready to unleash whatever force lay hidden inside you. The moment had arrived to confront the abyss. What would you release, and would it be enough? The shadows lunged forward, a swirling mass of chaos and despair. You felt their icy tendrils wrapping tighter around your chest, squeezing the breath from your lungs. Panic surged through the crowd, the flickering light from your amulet barely managing to hold back the tide. Focus! Focus! You shouted, trying to encourage the wavering spirits. Just then, the fierce woman's voice rang out again, threading through the chaos like a lifeline. Don't lose heart. Remember who we are. Her eyes sparkled with defiance, and it drew a rumble of affirmation from the people around her. The child's confident call had sparked a fire that had not yet died. But the creature loomed larger, its gnarled limbs reaching for you, the darkness writhing and hissing, hungry to envelop all. Your unity is a fragile thing, it hissed. Echoes of laughter twisted through the air, every cruel chuckle laced with venom. You think light can compete with my void? Fighting against the tide of hopelessness tugging at your mind, you squeezed the amulet tighter. A warmth flooded through, and for a moment you felt a pulse, a heartbeat echoing in rhythm with your own. The ancient energy within you began to awaken fully, thrumming just beneath your skin, ready to be unleashed. Together! You cried, feeling the power ignite inside. Let our voices merge. Let our faith become the beacon that pierces this darkness. The words flowed through you like fire, igniting the spirits around you once more. With newfound resolve, the crowd began to chant, a chorus rising with each beat of your heart. Hope! Light! Together! Each word resonated, vibrating through the air, pushing back against the oppressive gloom. The shadows hissed, shrieking in audible agony, recoiling as if burned. But still, fear lingered. Tentacles of darkness slithered and curled, inching closer, feeding on the uncertainty in hearts that still wavered. Sweat dripped down your brow, stinging your eyes, but there was no time for weakness. You focused, channeling everything: the belief, the memories, the stories of resilience whispered through generations. Suddenly, something unexpected shifted in the air, a tremor that rippled through the crowd. Perhaps it was a whisper or an intuition, but you felt a push, a different kind of energy rising behind you. Turning, you saw the child, her tiny hands lifted high, as unfathomable light cocooned her small form. "Look!" she asked, shining. Someone gasped. You stared in awe as a luminescence faded into your vision, pure and strong. This was not just your light. It was a collective spark fueled by shared belief, innocence, and the truth that even the smallest can cast a monumental shadow. The shadows recoiled again, their monstrous forms twisting back, unable to absorb the overwhelming glow radiating from the child. Empowered by the sight, you raised your own amulet once more, allowing its warmth to blend with the luminosity of the crowd. The air thickened, charged with emotion, with hope-soaked energy swirling around like a living force. Together, you shouted, "We are the light that will pierce through this illusion." In a breathtaking surge of collective will, you released it all. Light erupted from the amulet, a cascade of brilliance illuminating the darkness, pushing away the shadows. For a heartbeat, silence enveloped the crowd as radiant beams cut through the obsidian horror. But just as it felt as if the darkness would be vanquished, the creature's voice thundered through the clearing. "You think you can sever my bond? Think again." Everything froze, your victory hanging in the balance as the shadows writhed harder, desperation flickering in those dark eyes. What sinister truth lay behind its words? Would the light's power be enough to withstand the blackness that was gathering strength again? Tension tightened as the darkness howled, and something shifted in the light's glow. What hidden dimension would unravel now? The moment teetered on the edge. The air crackled with electric anticipation as shadows squirmed and blustered against your radiant pulse. The darkness writhed, struggling to withstand a force far mightier than fear. You felt it all, the collective power of hope and resilience surged through you, transcending individual strength into a fierce unity that could take down anything the abyss might throw at you. "This is not just about me," you shouted, eyes blazing with determination. "This is about all of us." Suddenly, the child raised her hands higher, her glow intensifying, an ethereal beacon against imminent destruction. Her energy was contagious, spiraling into the crowd like a wildfire igniting dry grass. You could almost hear the whispers gathering strength, forming a chant that rose from the depths of their hearts. "Light. Together. Hope." You joined the chorus, lifting your voice to the heavens, letting their strength feed into yours as the amulet began to pulse with life. The primal echo of generations past surged within you, intertwining with the child's innocent radiance. No more doubt, no more fear. "Azarath!" You screamed, the name resonating with newly claimed power. The figures in the shadows halted, their myriad forms twisting in a cacophony of confusion, simmering beneath the bright glare. They were fighting against the tide of light as shadows clawed toward the swirling brilliance radiating from you and your newfound comrades. But the darkness was relentless. "You cannot extinguish me!" thundered the primordial entity, laughter laced with contempt. "You are but a flicker in my vastness. What can you possibly withstand?" You felt the weight of that taunt, but it only served to stoke the inferno within you. "We are the flickers," you shouted back, emboldened by the unity forged behind you. "Flickers can become flames." The air around you ignited with the sheer force of belief. Each word amplified your strength, causing the light to swell like 1,000 suns converging into a singular entity. With every direction of your focus, you felt the shadows shrink. The tendrils recoiled, hissing as they grasped at the warmth, unable to hold their ground. "You are founded on fear. And we stand on hope." In one resolute moment, you unleashed the brilliance of the amulet. A kaleidoscope of light poured forth, unfurling like a curtain against the night. It raced toward the larger shadow with unwavering intent, arms stretching like glorious wings. Kinetic energy zapped, buzzing through the air as you grasped the resolute collective voice raised behind you. And then it happened. The shadows collided with the shimmering light in a terrifying burst of sound like shattering glass struck by falling thunder. The echoes blended into one another, the clash of light and dark loud enough to drown out the panic of the previous moments. Brightness erupted, illuminating the alley with warmth, chasing the chill of despair back into the abyss. You could feel the shadows dissipating, like mist drawn back from the sun's first rays of dawn. The three monsters Azarath and its monstrous siblings yelled in unison as their forms began to scramble, writhing against the force pressing upon them. No! You cannot break the bond. You will suffer the consequences. But deep down, you understood something vital. The shadows were weak, their hold on reality tenuous. Fueled by fear and despair, they depended on your doubt. Since you were now filled with resolute light and belief in unity, there would be no place for them anymore. The flicker had become the flame. A burst of energy radiated outward like an explosion, and the once terrifying figures began to shrink, fading, melting away as the light consumed them. Their cries turned to whispers, their forms dissipating like dark smoke in the morning sun. For a heartbeat, everything froze. The market stood still in collective awe, squinting against the dazzling radiance. Then the silence shattered, the crowd erupted into cheers, voices encouraging one another not to lose sight of hope, not to let that entire terror creep back in. You were no longer alone. Your heart soared as the realization washed over everyone present. Behind your feet, the ground pulsed in life, shadows retreating deeper into the night, sealed away by a calling stronger than even the ancient chaos they bore. In that moment, you turned to the vendor whose eyes glistened with gratitude. Are they gone? You asked, breathless. Hope blossomed in his voice. Yes, child. For now, we've sealed them. Laughter rang through the air. Relief swelled, a balm for the previous anxiety. The child stood glowing brightly, her innocence a reminder of the extraordinary power held within each soul present. You grinned at her, a newly ignited spark, knowing how invaluable her light was. You did it! She exclaimed, her entire face bright with joy. With a heartfelt smile, you replied, we all did it. The warmth of a unified heart could conquer even the darkest depths of despair. The crowd gathered, and you could hear their voices, unlike any you had heard before, tribes of unique spirits, each echoing their wisdom. Fear had been vanquished tonight, and history stitched back together in one resolute moment. As the moon shone over Cairo, illuminating the vibrant marketplace, everyone exchanged looks of hope. Tension gave way to trust, connections sparking between people. You could feel the pulse of ancient tales running through your veins, promising to nurture this unity, to safeguard the light for the long path ahead. And as you stood amidst newfound friends, you knew in the deepest part of your heart this was just the beginning. Your journey wouldn't end here, not with darkness lingering just beyond the horizon. The moment struck. You took a deep breath, the scent of spices and possibility swirling through the air, igniting every part of your being. You were ready for whatever ancient mysteries still awaited you. With laughter and shared stories to guide you, you stepped back into the bustling market, alongside brave souls willing to embrace whatever came next together. Listen closely. What happens next in this journey unveils even more secrets crafted by time. If you want to hear all about it, and dive deep into the tales still buried, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Smash that like button now. Your help keeps our stories alive, and we can't do it without you. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this thrilling ending. We love hearing from you, and don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Let us spread the light of hope far and wide.